So when I see that the toenail is thicker, and by the way, this usually happens due to pressure trauma. Sometimes, depends, I can cut it, but sometimes I just shorten it with the e-file. I want to make sure that I don't cut the skin underneath. I'm going to shorten it as much as possible. And then the rest I'm going to do with the file. I always like to feel underneath the nail just to see how far I can go, because the white that we see here, the free edge, could be a little bit deceiving. Sometimes the nails are white, but they're still connected. So I get so many questions where people ask me why I don't cut straight across. And this is a perfect example where you cannot cut straight across, because then you would have like what, these huge corners here. So what happens with the reason why I think usually people say to cut the nails straight across is that sometimes, well, very often when people are cutting, they leave a piece here, and that little piece can grow into, like, pierce the skin and can cause ingrown toenail. So when you shape it properly, when the corner is nice and round and it's not sharp, this is not going to cause ingrown toenail just because you're following the shape of the nail bed. This is not going to cause ingrown toenail because there's no way we can grow that nail so it's square. This nail is naturally round. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just reduce that nail because it's quite thick and it makes it more comfortable. Shorten it. It is so important to keep the nails, the toenails, short, because when the toes are squished in shoes, the nails can pierce the skin. And, you know, especially for diabetics, that can be very dangerous because they don't heal properly. So you want to make sure that the corners are nice and smooth, that the nails are maintained on a regular basis, preferably like once every couple of weeks even. And that's why I don't understand how, you know, sometimes people are so excited that their gel polish lasts 8 weeks. Like, this is way too long for toenails. So now I'm going to nudge back, skin fold. And I'm leaving the cuticle behind, so the cuticle is here. Just nudge it back. And I had someone in the comment section ask me why I do this dry, like how come I don't soften it? Because you know what, I don't push too far. So this is, by the way, this is Cuticle. I only nudge back as far as it's comfortable. Like if it doesn't go, I don't go. So this is comfortable, I can feel it. I don't push it. So this is a skin fold, this is a cuticle. This is our cuticle. So now I'm going to, with this bit, this is like a fine sanding band. I'm just gonna go over the hardened skin. And it is important to know not to remove the dry skin. Sorry, the hard skin completely. You want to soften it because the hard skin is there for a reason, to protect the foot. So it's good to reduce it, but you don't want to be removing every little piece of hard skin. And you see there's a callus here. Why? Because usually when people wear uncomfortable shoes or improper shoes, sometimes the toenails get, the toes get squished and then they are pressing down, and this is why the callus develops here. So with proper shoes, this would not happen. And when that happens, when there's callus here, there is a hard skin buildup underneath the nail as well. I personally really recommend barefoot shoes. It's a type of shoe that allows your toes to spread and to actually strengthen, because we need to be able to use our foot and not to have the foot, you know, squished in shoes without any mobility. At this point here, I just reduce this a little bit. See, this is from the shoes as well. So people ask me, how do I get rid of it? Well, I can just reduce it, make it, you know, look a little bit better. But in order to really get rid of it, is you have to change the shoes. By the way, you probably feel like you're on a plane because of my extraction unit. So I'm sorry, but I need it on because it sucks in all the dust. So this, I'm gonna just now bevel this a little bit. So this is Cuticle, and you know, when you use electric file on a regular basis, when you're trained, when you have a lot of practice, you know where the nail is and you know where the cuticle is, and you can also feel it. I don't know how to explain it, but you can feel it. So sometimes people are asking me if I'm not afraid that I'm going to overfile the nail. I mean, it could happen, but when you do have a lot of practice, it's not going to happen. Now I'm going to actually reduce that nail a little bit because it's quite thick. And you guys have to be careful, you know, like what happens is when there's trauma, right, to the nail, and there is little tears underneath the nail, the hyponychium seal is broken, then any type of pathogens can enter, and then there is higher risk of getting fungal infections, bacterial infections. So it is so important to take care of your nails. and to keep them in good shape and pay attention. So I do understand that pedicures are expensive, but regular care, I think personally, I believe it's more important than the pedicures. So the pedicure cannot fix 2 months of neglect. So yes, I can put finishing touches on the nails, but it's the daily care that really makes the biggest difference. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to now remove the cuticle. So don't forget there's 2 pieces of skin at the base of the nail. So then there's a skin fold and there is a cuticle. So it is safe to remove the cuticle, the portion that sticks out, basically, because it's not very safe to remove the cuticle from underneath the skin fold, because it's a seal. But once the cuticle is past the skin fold, it's not sealing anything. It's just a bunch of dead skin cells that are sitting on the nail, so you can definitely remove it. And this skin now, the skin fold, because it was stuck to the nail, it's a little stretched, and I get so many questions, even from my clients, like, what do I do now with that skin? Well, this skin is going to shrink if you take care of it. So once the skin is elastic and not stuck to the nail, it's going to shrink, because skin shrinks. So the key is to, if you want that skin to sit nicely around the nail and pretty, then just nudge it back ever so often and make sure that you take care of the skin so it's nice and elastic. So I like to use this comb bit just to get into the little corners. Now I'm going to put it in the reverse. And this is a medium. I like using mediums because at first they're quite sharp, but then after a while they become like this perfect grit. I like to use it around the corners here. It's just see perfect. You can kind of get into that little corner. There is sometimes callus here from just pressure. I have to smooth all the corners so there's nothing sharp. This is great for the skin as well. often in these corners there is a buildup of just dead skin, as you can see, and that can be very uncomfortable when people think that they have ingrown toenails. This has to be done very carefully that you don't break the skin. Just gonna make sure that there's no sharp corners. So I can see that there's still like some yellow skin here, which means that skin is calloused. I'm going to try to reduce it just a little bit. Tiny bit more. Again, I don't want to overdo it. What I would suggest is just using carousel and just putting a little bit underneath, and that skin is going to exfoliate a little bit better by itself, like after a shower. I think for today that's enough. So when I'm not filming, I actually do, I don't do the 2 feet separately. I do each step on both feet. So I cut all the toenails, I don't go back and forth. But when I film these pedicures for you guys, I have to set up the camera so it's, then I would have to go back and forth, which is a bit of a pain. So it's quicker if you basically repeat each step 10 times. Because this is a little bit thicker, so I'm going to shorten it with the e-file. I'm doing these little taps because sometimes when you stay in one area for too long, the machine, like the nail can heat up. Oops, that's my shoe. barefoot shoe, by the way. working on a pretty slow speed. It's 12,000 RPM. With the larger bits, like the pink one, I work with 10,000 RPM usually. There's a little bit of callus here. I'm going to use one of these. I like using them because they this has a bit of an edge. So I hope you can see what I'm doing here. Just trying to open this up. You can do that with a sanding band too, I find. Trying to reduce this a little bit. I'm not trying to remove it. Just wanted to make it smoother and more comfortable. I have to say I really like these discs. They're very effective. Again, I'm not trying to remove all the callus, I'm just trying to smooth it. So I use it in reverse. and I try to touch the foot this way. I'm working with that side. So I feel for hard skin, and I'm not trying to remove dry skin because I see so many people, I don't know, in my opinion, they're overfiling the skin to get rid of all the dryness, and then the skin is all pink. I don't think that's a good idea. So I just feel the skin. If it feels smoother, the dryness has to be addressed by the client at home with proper foot care. Daily foot care cream after each shower. Okay, let's do the other one. Oh, there's quite a lot of Callus here. Well, not quite a lot, but more than I expected. Again, I'm not trying to remove it. I know I'm repeating myself, but I think this is so important to know to reduce it, not to remove it. Okay, so there's still some hard skin, which I'm going to leave because if I remove it all, then the client won't be able to walk properly. They're going to be in pain. Okay, feel it? It feels better. So normally I'm not a huge fan of scrubs, but in the case of feet, I do use it for clients. And it's not necessary. It's not a necessary part of skincare, but it's a nice treat for a pedicure. So the reason I like this particular one is that it has citric acid, so the little abrasive parts are citric acid. And then the exfoliating activator dissolves them, and it becomes like a nice mask that I leave on for like 5 minutes. And the reason why I don't like physical exfoliants is that they don't fix dry skin. They can irritate dry skin. But with feet, very often people they do have too much dead skin, especially like on the back here, because people don't scrub their feet as much as they would scrub their face or their body even with towels. Usually the feet are forgotten. So so I do use it. But do I recommend as a like home care? No. After a shower, you can just scrub your legs and like this area with a towel, and that's good enough. And then just use a cream that has lactic acid. Lactic acid is very gentle, very nice exfoliant. So now this is dissolved, and it's easy to remove this with hot towels, which I really like. So this now becomes like a chemical exfoliant. Rub the foot in the towel and do the other one. So if someone has very delicate skin or very sensitive skin, then I wouldn't use it. And I do have clients that I don't use this scrub on. And now 5 minutes of relaxation. So now I just remove the majority of it. And I always show the client how much carousel they should be using, small amount, in the areas that need it the most, and then just spread it. And also, like little in the area that is needed, like on the toes as well. Because usually people use way too much. And they're really surprised how little they need. And one last thing, so I always wipe the client's feet just so they don't slip and slide in their shoes. And the excess. So this pedicure normally takes me, I would say, an hour, depending on the person, or depending on their toes. Thank you so much for watching, guys. See you soon. Bye.